Great, thanks Doug. Look, we'll no doubt have future sessions, future focus days, spending a lot more on the science around these wetlands, so I won't spend too much about that now. It's in the process of being built, the earthworks are being done. And just to carry on from what Doug was saying, the purpose of this wetland is as a nitrogen manager, if you like. When you're dealing with nitrogen on a farm, once it drops or leaches below the root zone, most farmers don't have another opportunity to capture it or manage it. Wetlands or areas where water comes to the surface or runs off the surface does provide a second bite at the cherry. So this wetland here is a little over 0.4 of a hectare. You'll see 2 water bays, and then below it there's another bay that's got some green material growing in it at the moment. There's no planting in there yet. That's all going to happen in the next month. As a duck pond, which is exactly what it is right now, or a frog pond, it's pretty well useless as a nitrogen treatment device. But once the organic material, the plant material establishes in there, that's when the processing of nitrogen happens. So what these do is when the nitrogen enters in the groundwater or in the surface runoff, denitrifying bacteria are established when there's plenty of organic matter there, and they literally gobble the nitrate molecule, release oxygen and release nitrogen. Now, we had a question from over here about contributing to greenhouse gases. Sometimes wetlands can create nitrous oxide, which is a greenhouse gas, but most of the time, and the vast majority of what wetlands do is create just ordinary nitrogen gas, N2, and that is not a greenhouse gas. 80% of our atmosphere is nitrogen. So the beauty of this, if we do it right, is it removes nitrogen or nitrate from the farming scene and puts it up into the atmosphere and removes it completely from the scene. So for Doug and this farm, this is a second bite at the cherry. Farm practice and with Healthy Rivers scheme might not get them down to where they need to be in terms of a performance measure. A wetland like this can take between 30 and 70% of the nitrate that rolls into it, take it out of the system. Now what we want to do here is not only show these work, and we have reasonable confidence they do, but to tweak them so we get it right to the 70% end, not the 30% end. So if we've got several hundreds of kilograms of nitrogen coming in the seepage water that enters this wetland, most of that gets taken out, and that will be obviously of environmental benefit, but also benefit to the performance of the farm. So all we've done here at the moment is created three bays to hold water. None of them are any deeper than 500 mils, because that's the depth, the maximum depth we can establish plants in. So when you come back and have a look at them next, if you come to the open day that's happening here on the 15th of October, the vast majority of that will have plants in it. You'll be interested to know here that all the water going into this is coming out of seepage out of this terrace on this side of the farm. Dry through the middle part of the summer, although interestingly the base was actually still quite wet, but when it started to rain, boy did the water start pumping out through the system. All off this dairy platform up behind us, roughly 40 hectares of platform, and it hasn't stopped running right through from autumn till now. And you can see water running over the sills that's still fed from seepage water coming out of the ground. Now that's shallow groundwater picking up all the nitrate leaching down below this pasture above us. So in that regard, the position of this wetland is absolutely optimum. Not much runoff, surface runoff going in at all, because there's not much catchment, but it's certainly picking up the product or the waste or the loss, nitrate loss off the dairy platform. So look, that's about it for now. The bays are there, as I said, when you come back, and probably next focus day, maybe Doug, we can have a really good session about what it's doing, what some of the key elements in terms of construction are and planting, because as a duck pond, as I said, this is not much good at all, and I've seen unfortunately too many built like this without any plants or too deep, but when you get it right, they can really make a difference. So look, I'll leave it there. If there's any quick questions, please throw them at me. Silence. I'm just going to answer one question to do with Mike Scarsbrook's one. Somebody in the crowd asked about the answer to those who are not happy with 80 years of improving the quality of the river. I work as a water quality scientist and have worked alongside Mike for a number of years. The best answer back, and we're already seeing it in the press by the way from some of the environmental fraternity, is that even if we completely disregard farming and what impact it may have, I think it would take 50 plus years still and more tools in the toolbox for us to get the rivers to the condition we want, and particularly the main Waikato. This takes time. From experiences with Taupo, there's a time lag for nitrate to get through the groundwater system and into these water bodies, and in Taupo, some of the water was 100 or more than 100 years old from the time it rained on the ground until it got to the river system. So even with all the tools in the toolbox and all the money in the world, I don't think we could do this. We certainly couldn't do it in a decade, 20, even 30 years. The fact that it's 80, I think, is realistic in my mind as a scientist, not even thinking of it as a farmer. So if you need to respond to anybody out there, and there's a bit of press about it already, then you can use that answer.